Hey guys, Seattle Forge here. A short while ago I completed the second set of personal missions by completing LT15, and I received as a reward this T28 concept Tier 7 Elite Tank Destroyer. It's kind of a premium. I was able to put my crew from the T30 in it without penalty. They're able to go back and forth. But I don't think the credit earning or experience earning is quite up to the same as other premiums. Anyway, this is a fairly novel tank. It does have T28 in the name. It was a previous concept for the other American T28 vehicles. You won't see much else like this in the game. But I don't see that many of them, but enough of them, and I think people have trouble taking these things out. So I thought I'd go over some of the features of this tank. It won't be too terribly detailed. So first thing, all tank destroyers are about the gun as far as I'm concerned, and this one has a unique gun. It's quite interesting. It is a 105 millimeter gun with more weight than any other gun I've ever seen at that caliber. It has a fairly slow rate of fire of 6, average penetration of 181 with standard AP rounds, which seems low to me, but if I take a look against the other premiums, it's pretty much in line. And then it has this 320 average damage, which is quite nice and quite interesting. Dispersion is pretty bad. It's not the most accurate gun in the world. You certainly wouldn't see anything like that on Germans. Maybe we'll see. I'll take a look at the E25's gun in a bit. And it has an okay aiming time of 2.3. Why don't we take a look at the guns from the other Tier 7 premiums that I have. And you can see here we've got a Tier... it was a Tier 6 gun. Then we've got this Tier 7 gun on the HTC. And then we've got this Tier 8 gun on the 12244. Very different in character. The HTC's gun is sort of the Mama Bear's forage. It's in the middle. So let's take a look. So the rate of fire is famous on the E25. It's absolutely ridiculous, outpacing everything else at 20 rounds per minute. The HTC slowest at 6, and the 12244 is much quicker at 7.5. Lowest on penetration is the E25, which is why it has preferential matchmaking, never seeing anything higher than Tier 8, unless you platoon like a moron. But it also puts so many of these shells out. It's ridiculous. Okay, and then, of course, the 320 damage on the T28's gun. 390 alpha on the 12244, which is what makes that tank such a beast. That moves around so quickly. Obviously, the aiming time for the HTC here right in the middle at 2.3. The weight of the gun is absolutely ridiculous. Let's take a look at a couple other features. The armor is quite prominent on the HTC, not just in sloping, but in thickness. And I'm not going to go into Tanks GG and show you every little nuance of this, but if you're firing AP shells at this thing, there's a couple places you want to know about. The left and right sponson are trash. So if you're firing from the front, primary target should be one of these. However, this tank does have a lot of traverse. It can actually angle its gun over here pretty easily. And if he's hiding behind a building here, which is what I try to do to hire that one sponson, you don't really have a shot on the other. However, if you do have this type of angle, you can shoot at the edges of this turret mount. Well, I guess that's kind of the mantlet, but it's really the turret mount. If you actually shoot at the edges of this when the gun's turned away from you, that is an easy pin as well. Over here, really thick. Right here, super soft. And then these cupolas are soft as well, but they're so tiny. You know, I really don't... I guess if you have this, you might hit. Anyway, I will show you a turret hit later. I think it was a bit lucky. But this is all thick. This is unbelievably sloped. That's not going to go through. It actually, the side doesn't have that much armor and angled pretty well. It's hard to pin. The side and particularly the rear armor is foil. You could use it to wrap up potatoes when you barbecue. That'd be fine. Yeah, so that's all I want to do on the armor. Don't shoot here. Don't shoot here. Here and here or here. Got it? Great. Okay, so we talked about the gun, and we've talked about the survivability, and now let's think a bit about the mobility. It's really slow in all respects. Concealment's actually quite good, unless of course it's fired. When it's sitting in a bush, it's a bush, so that's pretty good. Um, and then of course the spotting range, the way I have things set up, is fine. Fine. Maybe I should have binos instead of coated optics. It doesn't really move around a whole lot, but I didn't. You know, the only other thing I want to point out that I didn't point out is this gun has this unbelievable traverse. So it plays very much like an AT-15 or a Tortoise, and then it has this fantastic traverse. But unlike those British tanks, it can't point its gun down. Nope. And the elevation isn't too hot either, but you really notice you can't point your gun down. Side to side, all day long. Up and down, no. No. All right, let's take a look at some replays. Hey tankers, Seattle Forge here, and here we are in the T28 HTC concept, and obviously huge odds to win on this one. So we start off, we are high tier, which is nice. Top tier 7 game. We have a large number of TDs and a few heavies, most of them low tier, a couple mediums. It's a good mix. ELC out there to get spots. And I haven't played this one-line push in ages because I really don't play TDs that often anymore. And the ones I do play would not be suited for running up to the front of the one line here. So I've got a bit of help. I've got T67 SU100Y with me. The ELC is doing its best to spot everything from A1. Thank you. Nobody from Prokhorovka is going to sneak up on us while we're fighting on this map. So right here, I think the Chaffee actually got a spot on me before I rounded the corner. I don't think, actually, I don't know if, yeah, I guess my sixth sense is going off and I didn't hear the bell. Alright, and I've taken some huge whacks here, but I finally did one out the SU-152. First hit from the FP304, I landed on the back of my engine deck, bounced an APCR shot from the Hellcat. SU-152 hit me with an HE shell right on the gun mantlet, so I'm really not showing you the resilience of the tank now. And then that T-252 made a miracle shot on one of the cupolas on top of the tank. Unbelievable that he did that. Get another one on the SU-152, and the FP304 pounds one on me. Alright. Not a lot of vision. Everybody's using cover. So my vision's greatly reduced here, even though I think I'm 402 meter V range, but you use TD camo and cover like this, you're not going to see too much. Especially if they're not shooting. Alright, so we have only eliminated their Crusader and their Scout Chaffee. Things are pretty static. 152 shows up again, and here you can see the penetration of this gun lets me down. Or the accuracy, I think, that hit the rock there. Ooh, oops. The Hellcat is finished off. I get another crack at the SU-152. No, I don't. Somebody else is taking care of him. But I do like this spot of it. Oh, spot the 25-2 he must have fired. And I put a good one into him using that 320 average alpha. And blind fire the location, but he's smart and has moved on. So this gun does have rather disappointing penetration. I bounce a lot of shots I feel it should make. The accuracy lets it down a fair bit. Something that isn't that high caliber. ELC springs into action. Oh, and here's the SU-100Y, who I get on the top of the engine deck, hoping for a fire, didn't get it. And I've made my bones as far as damage goes at this point. And the SU's dumb enough to come around the other side. You get to put another one into him. You notice I don't get the, that little bit extra, or even an average roll to be able to put him away. You see that in a lot of my replays, don't you? Alright, I've just got the turret of the 25-2 to fire at. My gun works. His does not. Not on this armor. Not this time. 100Y. Yay, waste a shell on him for 2 hit points of damage. And I want to make sure this game is put away and switched over to APCR. Alright, IS-2 is the last tank left in the game. I pop one at him and miss. Abusive auto-aim was a mistake. Take that off, take another shot, and land it right in his tracks. Didn't even take them off, just it ate the shell. That's awesome. Alright, here we go. Solid one into the behind. Very nice. Nice roll. Get another one into his behind. Don't finish him, of course. And that's the ball game.